Hey guys, what you're about to listen to is episode 20 of Something in the Wild. I had on awesome dude, Ernie Edwards. He's got a YouTube channel with his buddies called The Part Timers. Has his own turkey calling business, Head Busta Turkey Calls. Make sure to check them both out. Give them a subscribe. The reason I'm talking to you right now, though, I kind of gotta, track back a little bit. The reason I'm talking to you is because, typical me, always making mistakes. I'm learning as I go, That's besides the point. Tried this new software to try and record this because we were recording remotely because Ernie's from northeast Florida, so a little bit far away, and ended up not getting great audio quality the first half of the interview. So I decided to kind of scratch that. I want to make it really nice, really crisp, and that was not really crisp at all. I'd be embarrassed to even show you. So we're going to continue with the second half of the recording, and still great information. I mean, this guy's doing awesome stuff for veterans. He's making awesome turkey calls, and he's got a really cool story. So, please feel free to sit down, relax. If you're watching on YouTube, sit back, enjoy it on the TV, enjoy it on your phone, whatever. But this guy's awesome. He's great. And hopefully I can get him on the podcast here again soon. Enjoy.
Yeah, so every December they bring a group of veterans down for a deer hunt, which is usually very good. 'Cause, I mean, the place it's like heaven on earth. I mean, there's tons of deer, tons of turkeys, tons of hogs. I mean, it's an awesome place. But every December they bring a group down, put them on some deer, and then in April they bring another group down for turkeys. And actually, they do a hunt down in South Florida, south of Okeechobee. Cuz Strickland goes down there and films an episode with them because the turkey season starts. I think it's March 1st down there. So they'll start out March 1st with a group of veterans, and they come back up later on in April, and then again in December.
Cool, man.
This past
Yeah.
this past December, I had a Marine sniper that was my hunter, Tyler Vargas Andrews. He's got a really cool story. He's been interviewed a ton of times, testified in front of Congress for that whole situation that happened with them when they were withdrawing out of Afghanistan. So you should definitely look up Tyler Vargas Andrews and listen to his story, man. It's incredible, but
I will.
that guy was, man, he was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just hearing his story and seeing what he has to go through and what he's living, and then he's so positive. And I had the opportunity. He bagged a nice buck that day, and it was awesome.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. You love hearing about that kind of stuff. I actually just had my one buddy that I played baseball with in college. He's about to graduate Marine, officer training school. So
Awesome.
he's going to be a Marine, and I had him on last week's episode. Actually, just came out today. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
it's cool. It's cool to hear about that stuff, man, and very honorable. What those guys do. But talk, staying on the topic of hunting and what you guys are doing next season. Are you doing anything right now to prepare for next season? Are you doing any scouting, or I'm sure you got cameras running all year round, but what's the strategy look like from the Florida guy's perspective?
So this time of year we try to wear out the hogs as much as we can. But the little club that Bubba's in, they're fixing to start doing some food plot prep, and which food plots in Florida are just about worthless in my opinion because everything stays green.
Mm-hmm.
You might plant some wheat or oats or something, and it might come up and do good later on in the year. But um, and I'm no genius land managing gamekeeper or anything like that. But I've tried to plant a bunch of stuff and just it hadn't had that much success. So I just focus all my resources on just putting some corn out because
Yeah.
they love it, and it's just easier and cheaper. Like I said, the hogs are so bad. You go plant a food plot and the hogs will come in there and wipe it out. But
Hmm.
But yeah, so we're trying to kill, some hogs this summer. I got in a new club this year and I actually haven't even stepped foot on it yet. I've been trying to paint the house, so
Yeah,
part-timer life, I
part
haven't,
time.
haven't got to scout it out or anything, but I know it's supposed to be pretty good. And then Jacob, they usually don't do much until later on because they're just trying to play catch up from guiding so many turkey hunts, and it's a big, I mean, like I said, it's a big property that they manage. So I mean,
Hmm.
they're always planting food plots or doing stuff like that. I keep trying to beg him to tote a camera around with him and kind of get the everyday stuff that they do, because I mean it's a timber company. They like that. The landowners, they have their own timber company, so I mean, they're constantly logging and just doing stuff, and it's cool to see how it all just circles back around. Like they do a lot of control burning and just lots of food plots, lots of big protein feeders and stuff for the deer, and it's really cool. But yeah, so typically we'll start scouting around a little bit, but it's so hot here right now. It's at the last 3 or 4 days, it's been breaking 100 degrees
Hmm.
up until dang near sunset. And the gnats are so bad. You open your mouth, and just gnats just fly in your mouth and your ears. So it's really good archery practice. You get stuff buzzing in your eyes and on your ears.
Yeah, it keeps you
get you
focused.
get you yeah, get you prepared, man. Because if you can hold your composure in that, you can just about do anything.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's that's wild. So yeah, so you mentioned trying to balance a bunch of stuff right now. I want to talk a little bit about how you're balancing, your personal life. And you said how many kids do you have?
I've
Just
got two,
one? Two
two.
kids? Two
Yep.
kids? Husband, two kids, got a business. You do anything else for work?
Yeah, I have a full-time job.
Hmm.
I work for a local parks and recreation, so I have a full-time job, and then the turkey calls it's pretty slow right now. I say luckily it slowed down about the mid to late April because I'm trying to paint the house, and we got a decent little chunk of land right here that we live on, so it's always something to do to keep it looking decent.
Yeah.
But it definitely gets tricky though. You know, I heard a quote a while back. I don't know who coined it or whatever, but it was boys do what they want and men do what they should. So I kind of like once I heard that, I'm like, oh, that's because everybody, oh, why aren't you hunting right now? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't why aren't you going to the Midwest every year with all your buddies? And like, yeah, I'd love to, man, but my boy's starting to play baseball. My little girl's starting to do some gymnastics, and uh, those are things that matter.
Hmm.
Like sure, I would love to be hunting a lot during the rut or this or that, but that's what matters. The kids, to me, in my opinion, like the kids, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Very, I guess unless you killed a big giant buck, like you're not going to remember a specific hunt you go on, but you're going to remember your daughter's first time riding without training wheels or
Hmm.
stuff like that. So that's that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Cool, man. Yeah, no, I think that's a good story. And being able to have that, um, the self awareness where, hey, like this stuff, yeah, you can go hunting and yeah, you might have a great once in a lifetime experience doing that, but um, your kids they're only gonna ride their bike without training wheels once.
Yep,
For the first time once, and if you miss that, it's gone.
yep,
Whereas for hunting, there's always going to be another 150-inch deer. There's
yeah,
always going to be another turkey. So,
yeah.
at least hopefully there is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know, not in my neck of the woods, but yeah. And my son, like my son's 7, so he got his first deer this will be 2 seasons ago now. So he was 5, and he's killed a couple turkeys, and he loves to go. And my little girl, she loves to go too. So it's one of those things. Like I've got a couple places. I got a place in Nebraska, some buddies that live in Colorado. So I have so many opportunities to go all these cool places. But like, man, I don't want to leave my kids. Like they want to go so bad, and I want them to be able to see stuff like that. So what I've been telling myself, anyways, is like, soon as my kids, well, my son will be first, obviously, but like, as soon as he can like really like swing on a deer or a turkey, and shoot it without me putting it in the bog death grip or, lean and rest. Like, as soon as he can really command that gun or bow, because he's got a crossbow,
Hmm.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start going. I'm collecting all these promises that people have, these hunts these people have promised me. So
Yeah.
um, we'll have some fun. When he gets just a little bit older, where he can go and enjoy it too.
Yeah, and you want to engage them early. It's awesome to hear that they love it. And that's cool that you're sharing it with them right now. I mean, I'm sure it's a pain sometimes, but being able to um, being able to share those experiences, especially later in life, whenever they do get older and a little bit more mature and can operate a firearm and a bow and taking them out west or Midwest deer hunting and stuff. That's cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, because I get a little stressed out with when it comes to filming and turkeys. My son he killed his first gobbler when he was 5, and I had my little girl. She was 2. I think, yeah, she was 2. I had her in the blind with me. It was a really tiny piece of property, but there was some farmlands around, and I had the same truck the farmers had, so the gobblers didn't really freak out when they saw my truck. So it was really awesome. But
Hmm.
I got that video on our part timer channel. But oh man, what a hunt! I mean, it was just crazy, and I'm freaking out because I'm never like I've taken plenty of kids hunting, but they've never been my kid, and it's never been their first turkey at 5, and I've never been filming it like with the stuff that I've got. So it was I was wigging out, man. I was wigging out, and I asked my son later on because he killed that turkey, and there was another one that was like 5 or 6. There was another one showed right back up a couple days later, so I took them all back again to try to get them tagged out,
Hmm.
and we had a miscommunication with whether or not his 410 was on safety because it's a Stevens 410, so it's got the hammer and then it's got a safety.
Hmm.
And I was like, it's on fire, shoot him because I flipped it with my thumb, but I didn't flip it all the way, so it went back to safe. I'm
Hmm.
like, shoot him, and the turkey's just strutting around the decoy at like 15 yards. And I'm like, shoot him, son, shoot him. And my little girl standing up in the chair, like just awestruck, looking at this thing. And he's like, it won't shoot, Daddy, it won't shoot. I'm like, I'm telling you, son. Like we went back and forth, and finally I'm like, shoot the turkey. And he had little tears coming out his eyes. I can't, it won't shoot. I'm telling you, like he got mad. He's
Yeah.
like, you shoot it. So like a goofball. Like, you sure you want me to shoot it? Yeah, you shoot it. I don't want to shoot it. I don't want to shoot it. So I just leaned over left hand and boom, shot it. And which at the time I'm like, oh, I've got great video. I've got my kids with me. Like this is just a cruel hunt. I should have let the turkey strut around and calmed him down and like got his composure and let him shoot him.
Hmm.
But I asked him. I said, "Say, hey, what could Daddy have done different, buddy? He's like, not talk so much." I'm like,
That's
I'm sorry,
awesome.
buddy. I've never taken a 5-year-old turkey hunting before, buddy. So I'm learning too. But this
That's cool,
year,
man.
this year was a lot better. I didn't, you see, or last season we had a gobbler, another like tiny place, and a gobbler flew down. It was 3 gobblers flew down, and strutted all around the decoy. They would not separate for like 5 or 6 minutes. That video is on our YouTube channel too. And I had my dad with me, which he's 78 now, so he hasn't gone turkey hunting in a long time. And that's who got me into it. So it's really awesome to have him in the blind with us.
Hmm.
And my son calls it turkey nerves. He gets turkey fever so bad. Deer, hogs, like he's fine. He's like a sniper, dude. But
Hmm.
a turkey comes up, and as soon as he sees him, you can hear him mic'd up. Oh man, oh, I can't do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. So it's so cool to see him get so jacked up. It's stressful at the same time though, because I'm like, put the dot on his head and shoot him, son. Like, hurry up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, at least he shares that passion with you. You think he's just as passionate as you are? Or you think more?
Mm, I wouldn't say he's on that level yet. Like
Okay.
he loves it and he gets super pumped up, but he could also I could be like, hey buddy, I'm going turkey hunting with Mr. Jacob and Mr. Bubba this morning. So I it's just the guys for a part time or shoot or something like that. All right, all right. Like he hadn't kicked and screamed and cried on the floor or anything like that. So I think that's probably what I would be doing. when
Yeah.
I was like, if my dad said he wasn't going to take me, I'd have been throwing a fit.
Yeah.
But times are different though. I don't know that he'll ever uh, I don't know that he'll ever have the opportunity to get as jacked as I was,
Hmm.
because like I said, it was at my front door. That's all I did. Like, I played a tiny bit of baseball, but that's all I did. Fished
Hmm.
and hunted, mainly hunted, and I mean, I'd hunt 6, 7 days a week when the season was in, 2 or 3 times a day. Like I'd go morning, midday, afternoon, like it didn't matter. If
Hmm.
there was a turkey somewhere, I was bugging him till I got him.
Yeah.
And he'll I don't know that he'll ever have get to experience that type of opportunity
Yeah.
that I had. So
Yeah, yeah, and especially with I know that turkey populations right now are kind of declining a little bit since because all the reintroduction efforts and stuff was when they peaked, and I think everyone realized that you know it's not really a sustainable population where there's that many turkeys, especially with the loss of habitat and things like that. Um, so being growing up in in the era where turkeys were so prevalent and they were everywhere, I think that also probably fueled you a little bit,
yeah,
and got you really itching for the turkey bug. I'm slowly
yeah,
trying to get there. I've only turkey hunted for 3 years. My dad went turkey hunting a couple times, but never like, not what you see now where you're trying to call birds in. He was more just walking through the woods. If he saw one, he'd shoot it. And
yeah,
he
yeah.
probably only
Gotcha.
shot like two or three. So I'm learning as I go, and that's where my next question's gonna target here. I've been going for 3 years, right? I have yet to shoot a turkey. I've been close to plenty of them. Probably had my best opportunity last year trying to call some turkeys in, but I couldn't see if it was bearded or not, so I had to let it pass.
Hmm.
So my question is, what do you see is the biggest mistake that someone that's new to turkey hunting would make?
Oh man, there's a bunch of them. I would say like one thing that, and I say this, but I've developed I've become a very impatient turkey hunter,
Mm-hmm.
with schedules and kids and you know filming, like it's ruined me as a turkey hunter. I used to be so patient. Like if I found where one strutted for more than once or twice, I would just sit there and hunt him until I got him.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like if he doesn't, if he's not gobbling, first off, like if he's not gobbling, I'm probably not hunting him, because I don't care to still hunt a turkey. Like I will, but I don't really want to if I can help it. And if he's not coming in, putting on a good show at 120 frames per second, like I don't really know, like obviously if it's a kid or if I'm taking somebody, but like I'm just so impatient anymore. But I would say probably the biggest mistake is people just thinking, oh, I'm going to crawl up to them. I'm going to go move too much and not just sit there, because a lot of times there's two turkeys. A lot of times, like you'll hear one gobbling, he'll be 200 yards, and then all of a sudden he'll either turn around or there'll be another one at 500 yards. Like, oh, he's leaving, and you just get up and tear out to him. Well, now he's at 100 yards, and you meet him and you blow him.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, just not being patient. Actually, this year I would have blown the hunt. I was hunting with Paul Butsky and a lady from the Coast Guard, and the only turkeys gobbling, we heard one like so far off it barely even heard him. But we had the gobblers gobble behind us, and we were in a food plot where we were hunting open and morning, had great success, and they were roosted where they're supposed to be. Well, this particular hunt, they were roosted 400 or 500 yards behind us, and like, man, let's just go to these turkeys. Like they're gobbling too hot. I just want to get up and move. And Paul Butsky, he was like, let's just wait.
Mm-hmm.
We know they're going to be here. This is a beautiful food plot. There's been hundreds of turkeys killed here over the years. Like, this is the spot. I'm like, okay, you're right. And sure enough, we had a wad of jakes come in, and I was watching, and because they had to walk like right past us. So luckily, I heard them kind of gawking a little bit, so I froze. They walked around, got to the decoys, and there was one jake this is an epic hunt, and it's on our YouTube channel. It's the best turkey fight I've ever seen. There
Mm.
was one Jake that was a lookout, and I saw him like the gobblers gobbled behind us at like 150 yards. So I knew they were coming, and that Jake just yoop 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 yoop, and I froze, and I could hear him drumming, and the gobblers walked behind me like 12 foot behind me, walked around, and it was the most epic turkey fight at 12 yards, 13 yards that I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
but
did see
anyways,
I did see that one. Yeah, that's cool, man.
it was awesome. But yeah, so I would say probably just impatient and trying to slip up on a turkey.
Hmm.
I mean, I've done it before. I've got behind a trash pile or something. I was able to sneak up and kill a turkey, but a turkey. My dad always told me a turkey can see through an oak tree, and I believe it. I mean, I've had turkeys bust me before. That I don't know how they saw me
Yeah,
or how they busted me, but um, moving too much. I would say probably not sounding realistic is one of the main things.
hmm,
Um, I always tell people to record a hen. If you're ever in the woods, even if it's deer hunting, and you got hens yelping, just record them. Take that back, put earbuds in, get in the truck so you're not annoying your mom or your wife or somebody like that, and just practice and try to get that cadence, as close as you can to that real life hen, and that's going to make a big difference. Turkey, if it's meant for you, if the good Lord wants you to kill something, you can't do any wrong. Like you literally could just sit there in blue jeans and a white t-shirt and call a turkey up. But the turkeys that are hard and old and smart, those are the turkeys you're going to kill because your cadence is perfect.
yeah,
Your sound's perfect.
yeah.
I mean, every day's different, but
Hmm.
I would say, just get that cadence down as close as you can to a real turkey.
For sure, man. That's that's good advice. I like it, and I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to invest in one of your calls. I think like I usually use a diaphragm
Hmm.
and a box call. I used to have a slate, but my girlfriend stepped on it and broke it. So
Yeah, she didn't want you to go hunting anymore. Is what happened?
that's right. That's right.
Oh, sorry, babe. I accidentally did this.
Yeah, yeah. She didn't tell me for a while too, and she's
Oh
like, "Yeah, I
man,
may or may not have stepped on it." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's all right."
man.
But
Yeah, or think it's a drink coaster or something, and just set a big wet, sweaty drink on it.
yeah. Oh, that's funny. Um, all right, man. Yeah. Well, the last thing I guess I really wanted to cover was kind of the things going on. The development. I know this is switching gears pretty heavily, but the talk maybe a little bit about what you're experiencing with like the development in Florida, and I know there's a lot of subdivisions popping up everywhere, specifically near wildlife management areas and things like that. Do you have any experiences that affected you personally? Maybe you lost a spot because of a housing plan or whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of development going on in St. Johns County. Uh, a lot of it, I never. Well, I've hunted it like as a guest a couple times, but a lot of the developments were areas that I couldn't hunt, but I just know people that did or drove by it my whole life, and we had some of the most beautiful old Florida cattle ranches in this area. You go down south and it's just like it was in the 1900s in some of those places, but
Hmm.
up in our area there's really nothing left, and there's a particular developer that has developed just about all of St. Johns County, and it's giant. I mean, it's multiple 4 or 5 thousand home subdivisions now.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely changed the game. But I've actually lost more hunting spots to outfitters
Oh
than
yeah.
I have to anything. Yeah, because this whole Osceola phase, man, there's the Osceola craze that. I mean, it's always been there. Like people have always wanted to get the Grand Slam, but I feel like in the last 6 or 7 years, it's just gotten outrageous. Um, but yeah, because if there's a gobbler and somebody's going to let somebody hunt it, there's outfitters that'll come pay $800-900 some places to kill an Osceola for a hunter.
Wow,
Um,
man.
it's
That's
it's it's hard, dude. It's hard, but it's everybody. I posted a video on a YouTube short, and had a lot of kind of not really negative comments, but I knew it was going to ruffle some feathers because the whole thing, everybody wants to believe that you can only kill a true Osceola if it's south of State Road 70 or Highway 70, whatever it is, down around Lake Okeechobee,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just the true black wings, and but according to NWTF, it's like Duval County, and it kind of goes over to Putnam and towards Gainesville and then south. That's your air quote, you know, line for an Osceola, and we're 2 or 3 counties, south of that. And you might double up with a buddy, and that one will be an Osceola, and that one will be an Eastern.
Hmm.
And I've even down in Volusia County a long time ago, I caught a bird up for me and my buddy and his girlfriend, and she killed the strutter, and I killed the old long necker bird that was with him, and hers was a tiny Osceola, like 13, 14 pounds, and mine was like a 19, 20-pound Eastern. And the landowner's like, yeah, those gobblers were in the same clutch. Like, I've watched them since they've been babies. They were in the
Really?
same little clutch of eggs, and one was an Osceola, one was Eastern.
Do you
It's
know? Do you know the biology behind that? Like, how is that? How is that even possible?
Up at DDOT, Dr. Mike Chamberlain. Have you heard of Dr. Mike Chamberlain,
Yeah.
Wild Turkey Doc?
Uh-huh. Yep.
So he hunts with those guys a lot at DDOT, or for the last 2 years, anyways. And I've got to share camp with him 2 times. And basically, from what I've gathered from him, is there's no DNA, there's no genetic difference.
Mhm.
It's just like those turkeys are closer to the equator, so they tend to have more black barring on their wings. But there's no difference at all.
Hmm.
It's just a line, and turkeys have a little bit more black on their wings. I mean, it's just a turkey. I mean,
Yeah.
but people go crazy about it, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. It's
Takes
people.
a true turkey nerd to care about it like that, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean, and they do. I mean, people will pay $4,000 at the drop of a hat to go kill one of those turkeys.
Man.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I just wish everybody would kind of, let it go a little bit and just have fun and just shoot a turkey.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully it's just a phase.
Yeah, because we've killed a few of them up at DDOT up there that were just as black wing as you could ever imagine,
Mm-hmm.
and that's Duval County. And so, people just don't. They're not true Osceolas. And actually, a guy down in south of Okeechobee on that veteran hunt killed a turkey that was as white barred as you could get, and
Really?
it was down south of Okeechobee. So, I got tickled when I saw that picture. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, those true Osceola guys, I'm sure aren't claiming that turkey.
Man, that's fine. I'm under the notion that just go to a cool place, kill a turkey, and move on with it. Even though
Yeah.
just like having cool experiences.
For sure.
The place for me, the place that I'm hunting is worth more, in my opinion, than any animal that I'm gonna kill. Right. So
100%.
like if I'm going, like I would much rather go somewhere in the mountains of central Pennsylvania, way far away from a road, and have that moment and harvest a doe than
Yep.
kill a stud buck right off the highway here near the city. It's
Yep.
just how I am. I don't know. Some other people are a little bit different, have a little bit different priorities, but that's
Yeah. Some people, if you don't kill it on public land, you're not even a real hunter.
yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
There's a lot of stipulation, which I think is bad for hunting as a whole, just because we're already so divided as a community as is. Dividing people even more, I think, is not healthy.
For sure.
For the longevity.
Like, because the hunting clubs that I grew up in, there was 150, 200 members in some of them, and 85% of them hunted everything, except for like when I was a kid, there was only 5 or 6 turkey hunters, and they were all family, and it was so much easier to kill a turkey with those 5 or 6 great turkey hunters because turkeys didn't get spooked; they got shot, and there was no, oh man, he came up there and he saw me move. Like, these dudes were stone cold killers, man.
Yeah.
Like, if he came up there to that call and got in gun range, he did not walk away. but you didn't have this whole thing like, decoy shy or call shy. Like it was just, you go out there to strike a bird, you call him up and kill him, because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't get educated. But
Yeah.
but and that's kind of, I guess, because I mean, I do a little bit of public land hunting whenever I can get a quota, which since which, I mean, it's good for the hunting industry, but since the hunting public and Dave Owens and all those guys with the whole public land craze has blown up, you can't even hardly get a quota hunt anymore.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, we used to get 3 or 4 of everything, and you're lucky to get one per season now.
Mm-hmm.
But I never got bit by that bug, because growing up hunting in those big hunting clubs, it was basically like there's more people that were hunting on any given day in those clubs than there is on any public land I've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it basically was public land you just had to pay for.
Yeah. Yeah. Different dynamics, I think, for different areas. I know around here, a lot of what I do is public land, just because that's kind of the only option.
Yeah.
You either, what was that?
I didn't mean to cut you off, but do y'all have quotas, or is it just like free access? You can hunt anytime in that season range.
Yeah. So it's, whenever you buy your license, you get a buck tag, and you get a turkey tag that comes standard, and then you can add a second turkey tag. You can add black bear tag. You can get doe tags, and the doe tags are kind of a quota, so they have a specific amount per management area. And around like Pittsburgh, there's a lot, and they don't sell out very quickly. But then you have other areas like in north central PA where they sell out almost immediately.
Wow.
And there's 40,000 doe licenses, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 doe licenses that they're selling, and within a couple hours they're gone. Just residents, and you get one.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like, up here, it's actually coming up. The doe draw, I guess, is coming up in July, and yeah, you got to be first hour. You got to be in there, or you're not getting the tag.
Yeah.
Just based
That's
on
kind of how gator tags are here.
Yeah.
You gotta apply quick. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I had something else, man, I was gonna bring up after that, and I've lost it now. It was something about, I guess it was about, so are y'all allowed to hunt over bait up there, or is it strictly natural?
No bait. Yeah, no bait
Really?
on private land or public land.
Really?
Yeah, it's all all natural. All natural.
Shoot, man. You'd go 3 years without seeing a deer if you had to do that here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing, man, is once it becomes like standard, then it kind of levels the playing field, right? I think if they added something like that up here in PA, it would kind of throw the balance off for a little bit. It'd be hard to see stuff, but eventually it would level itself out, I'm sure.
We're so thick here. I mean, you're liable to have the only hope of having anything where you can see over 100 yards is if you're on a timber company and they've just logged it and it's a clear cut, because everything's so thick here, and that's what, like, it's so hard. Patterning a buck is like almost impossible here, because he can literally walk anywhere he wants to walk for a 5 or 6 mile radius, other than maybe a little hunting club road or something like that. But I mean, there's no pinch points. There's no, there's 900 acres of ag fields, and there's a 20-yard wide strand that's 4 miles long, and he's going to go down that strand. Like, there's none of that stuff. Like, it's so hard. Like, you really would go, in most places, you would probably go all season without seeing a deer. If you didn't have a corn pile, something for him to come stick his nose in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard.
I'm sure it is, man. I'm sure it is. The mono habitat, just nothing, it's all the same stuff. At least around here, we have saddles and benches where you can kind of figure where these deer are going to walk, steep bluffs and things like that.
That's neat.
Yeah. So just a different vibe, just a different
100%.
kind of different style.
100%.
Which is cool. But, I hear, or I smell dinner cooking. So we'll wrap this up. I haven't eaten anything yet, but, yeah, man, dude, I really appreciate you jumping on. This has been a pleasure. Cool talking and learning about what it is that you do.
It's awesome to hear a different perspective, a different state perspective on hunting and sharing that passion with someone. It's very interesting.
For sure, man. For sure. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, and guys, check out the YouTube channel, the Part Timers, and your turkey calling business.
Yep.
Head busting.
www.headbustaturkeycalls. Got some pretty good calls on there, and got some pretty good videos on the YouTube channel. We're also on the Mossy Oak Go app as well, which it's basically the same videos, but if somebody wants to go to the Mossy Oak Go app, they can head over there and search the Part Timers or hit up the YouTube channel.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it as always. And yeah, I'll have to be picking up one of those turkey calls here soon. You got some
Let
in
me know,
stock?
man. Yeah, I've got a few in stock.
Nice.
I'm gonna try to really get after it this off season and get a bunch ready and try to hit up some shows. When it gets a little closer to turkey hunting, but
Yeah.
just get with me and send me your logo. I can do some laser engraving with your logo inside the call.
Oh,
Do a little
hell yeah, dude.
customization to it.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. That's awesome. I will for sure. And all be in touch. Let me know what shows you're going to. I might have to make a trip down there.
Roger that. Sounds good, man.
All right, brother.
All right.